Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert with The Ted Show. And we have a lot going on in our world, and I'm very excited to have these two guests on. We're going to talk about the CEO Fund, what that means, what that's going to mean to our community, and really our economy. And I'm excited to have my friends Donna Smith and Steve Minard on the show today. With everything crazy going on in the world, it's great to be around some successful, healthy, wonderful people.
Yes, exactly.
So tell us a little bit about you. That's always the thing we like to start with on the TED Show. They want to know a little bit about you before we begin to talk about the CEO Fund. So we'll start with Donna.
Okay. Well, we started a Real Second Chance nonprofit, 501c3, to help distressed individuals become entrepreneurs. And in our several, 2+ years experience, we've helped some ex-felons, alcoholics, homeless, drug addicts, distressed individuals. So this is really wonderful that we have this experience, but all of that experience led us to realize that entrepreneurs have needs that go beyond the first initial get me started. And that's what we're here to talk about. But in the process of all of that, we also started a kids program, kid entrepreneur program, Free Market Heroes. In fact, I even brought one of our entrepreneurs, our kid entrepreneurs, came up with doggy treats. So Megan's Barkery, and the latest one I even brought along just to have. So this is a 10-year-old. She's been creating these bracelets. And so we have a lot of different bracelets and things. I know, 10.
Where can they buy those?
Well, we are going to put it on our website, but after this kind of craziness goes by, we have different activities and things, like we're going to do a golf tournament, and there's different Orlando Street fairs and things like that the kids will be at to sell their wares.
I'd love to hear
stuff,
about a kid entrepreneur, a kidtrepreneur.
Well,
so
yeah,
to speak.
because we started with the, to help the distressed individuals become entrepreneurs. There was that need so that they don't go back into the system.
Correct.
And become heroes on their own streets. Well, we realized through one of our contacts to turn around and let's start young.
So I want to back up just a little bit, because you weren't born, Donna, with a Real Second Chance Barbie. So give them a little bit of background on you so that they know a little bit about Donna.
A little bit about me. Well, born and raised in California, and made my way across the states with my husband here to Florida more than 10 years ago. Yeah, more than 10 years ago. And I've been an engineer, computer engineer, salesperson.
You've been a computer engineer?
Yeah, that's where it started.
I think I say this every time I talk to you.
I can't believe that I was an engineer.
I file it away because I'm like, that couldn't have happened. Because you're so mellow and low key, and you're good with people. Not that computer engineers are not good with people, but the perception out there.
Right, and that was part of the reason that it led me into sales, because in the computer world, the salespeople were saying, well, we can take you out on a sales call.
Right, because you have both.
That's right.
See, I only have the one side of the brain. I don't have the engineering side of the brain. Well, that's awesome. All right, well, welcome. All right, Steve, you're up. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, born and raised in Iowa. Moved here about 2 years ago, but in between, I've started multiple businesses, sold them. I'm now mentoring at the Starter Studio, which is where we're filming from right now.
The amazing
I'm helping very amazing, and helping a number. Actually, I'm advising over 30 companies right now.
Wow. So when you say advising, are you like a consultant? Are you
mentoring?
Mentor.
So basically anything that they need in terms of helping them to find capital, helping them with the skill sets. A lot of it ends up being just kind of marriage counseling.
You're like the counselor, the bartender, the therapist,
confessor, whatever it takes.
Don't you think people need that? That's so awesome that you're in that role.
Honestly, that's what they need the most. It's never about the technical issues when you're doing these things. It's about how do we get along with each other. So it really is ending up being a marriage counselor and figuring out what'll work with people.
And how did we all meet?
Well, it's funny because that is that middle ground that we're trying to reach with the entrepreneurial side, right? It's all of that, and you met, well, you tell us.
Happy hour.
10
Goes back to one theme,
that.
guys.
Of all people, you should have remembered that.
You know, that brings a lot of people together. Well, it's a great place. Any kind of happy hour or gathering prior to all of this is a great place to really not just network, but to get to know people.
Yes.
And so the ones that we've hosted at Starter Studio have a little bit more of an entrepreneurial spirit to them, I think, than a regular networking.
More
And
intellectual.
So, more intellectual, but those of you like me, don't be afraid of that word. You could still come and create and brainstorm, and that's what I love about the ones here, is that there's so much brainstorming and support and mentorship and counseling and all that good stuff, and it creates an environment, I think, where people feel good about sharing their ideas.
Yes.
Right.
So talk about the impetus. What's behind the CEO Fund? What is the CEO Fund? And give us a little history.
Well, CEO stands for, in our world, Community Entrepreneur Opportunity. And what we've discovered in our 2+ years with Real Second Chance and helping entrepreneurs was that you have the beginning where they might get some funding from friends, family, you know, people, and then you've got this whole middle ground before they're ever ready for like a venture capitalist or, you know, financial side on the banking and all. And that middle ground can actually make or break an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's not a large need. It could be something as simple as being able to pay for a booth at like the Consumer Electronics Show, or just gas money to get to some place like a happy hour where they can meet people. And then it's always these collisions that make something happen. And so you just need to be able to have that resource to get there.
Because I think you're right. A lot of people they have this amazing idea. They come here, let's say happy hour, create. They've got an idea. They implement it. They do go to family and friends first to help support it. They've got a dream and a plan. And then that middle thing hits, because that doesn't mean just because you open your doors or put up your sign that the phones are going to ring.
Right.
And everyone you thought might be a potential client doesn't always end up being a potential client right away.
Right.
And so you have to go out and do things like network, which costs money, go to booths, go to industry conventions, things like that, where you're meeting new people and exposing your business. And so that there is that gap where they fall into.
Right. And a lot of times what will happen is when they're trying to focus on, okay, I need to do this, so I need to get money, and then they start, okay, I'll go do this for a while, and it takes their focus off of what they wanted to do.
Yes.
They get frustrated. When we talk about make or break, a lot of times it's their own thought of, I can't do this. I just can't continue that.
Between that time before you've made it and after friends and family, you get out there and you might find money, but a lot of times with money comes strings.
Right.
And sometimes the strings are so tightly woven that they bind you, and you can't be successful that way. Or there are vultures out there. So the Community Entrepreneur Fund, Community Entrepreneur Opportunity Fund is not about taking equity, not about strings, but about making sure that they can get to that next level. So when people get funds from the Opportunity Fund, they don't sign loan documents. We aren't taking equity. What we do want you to do is to sign a giving pledge. So when you are successful and you're ready to give back, that you'll give of your time, your resources, and money to make sure that this keeps moving forward.
Well, yeah, I love it.
And obviously, we've talked to entrepreneurs and you know, people here at Starter Studio for doing things like that, and they were all on board with that. Was just the most wonderful thing. They want to give back, and a lot of times the problem is, I'm not ready to give back, and we are creating that word is community.
Right.
This is an opportunity
for
the community to actually be. So it's both sides. You've got the entrepreneur's opportunity for success in helping middle ground, but you've got the community opportunity to turn around and be able to help people get started. Because one of the things that we've learned is that the numbers are staggering. If you can even take an entrepreneur group, a company, and let them succeed for another 1 year, even just a 1 year, you're talking over $300,000 to that community. These are the average numbers. That's a lot of money that the community gets back just by helping another business succeed.
And you have an example you were talking about earlier of somebody who would be a prime example, and we're going to give more examples, but somebody who said yes about a gift certificate, but probably would be a candidate for the CEO Fund. Can you tell them a little bit about that?
Sure. Actually, and the funny thing is, it's a massage therapist, and she started her own massage office, and she is so into being an entrepreneur and helping that her daughter, she's been taking advantage of. She's the one that did the bracelet.
Oh, see, look how that connects.
Her 10-year-old, yeah. And it was funny because I was asking, I said, now, one of the things we do with the kid entrepreneurs is there's more to it than just creating the product. We have to teach them that, okay, now, how much did this cost to buy the product, and how much time, and now you have to pay back who helped you out for, for certain things. Mom paid for this, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so when we were talking about that, she was all for, yes, if somebody wants to give money to the CEO, okay, the community entrepreneur opportunity, then she will give a gift certificate for a free massage.
Nice.
But because now we didn't plan this, we were planning this way before the coronavirus hit.
Oh yeah, let's reiterate that.
Okay,
Talk
yes.
about that. I don't know if Steve wants to talk about that, or you want to finish.
Yeah, so,
Sure.
well, yeah.
Well, we knew that there was a need, and we've been working on this for months. Coronavirus comes along, and now we're having a hit to our economy. But this isn't unique. I mean, we've had 9/11 hit the Florida economy. We've had the recession hit the economy. The more businesses that we can keep going, the more people that, not only, all of the things the government is doing is very valuable, but some people can't just take another loan and make it up. Some of them need something to pay that rent bill, to pay that electrical bill, just to make sure that they can keep the lights on and keep their employees paid. So this isn't unique now. It's already happened. It's about every 10 years at least, and then if we have a hurricane, less than 10 years.
Correct.
So the Community Entrepreneur Opportunity Fund can help businesses stay in business so that we don't take such a hit every time something like this happens.
So talk about you talked about a masseuse, but talk about the different types of businesses. Is there, what are we looking for? Do we have sky's the limit, or is there some particular entrepreneur you're looking for? I mean, give them an idea. We want them to walk away with an idea of maybe a target. And if there's no target and you just need to be an entrepreneur, explain that.
It's not really a target.
No, there's not a target. It's basically, if it's we look at the people, we look at their ambition, we look at, is this a good idea, is this something that can work? And we look at a lot of different things, like the companies that I'm mentoring right now. It's not one industry. It's everything from solar to networking to lead provision, and it's just across the board. Sometimes it's technology, and I think as far as our economy here, the more that we can diversify, have more things other than tourism to rely on for our local economy, that's a good thing. And it also helps support those businesses that are the restaurants, the service providers, the hair salons, and things that people could go, and if the economy's not doing well, they'll give up, they'll sacrifice those things, which starts pulling down the entire community. So, and in terms of the Community Entrepreneur Opportunity Fund, there's any business that's a promising business is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And then, but we want to make sure that the community is helping to support that, because it pays dividends back to the communities.
Yeah.
So we're asking for volunteers, we're asking for people to donate, like the masseuse, but it's not necessarily just small business. We have also large corporate sponsors that we're looking to.
So we want people to really embrace the idea of the CEO Fund, and we want the community to embrace the idea. We want people to get involved no matter what level.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And one of the things that we found through, I know it's right before right after Black Friday, we've got the buy local that's going throughout the whole United States and all.
Right.
This obviously did a big hit for all the buy locals, if you think about it, all the local communities. And this is actually saying, hey, this is one of the ways that we're going to be able to help each other, because we're going to help the community recognize that you're helping, and they at the same time are getting help, and so it's going to go back and feeding into our local areas.
This may be something that seems new to people, but certain ethnic groups, and going back in history, you'd have the community elders that would try and make sure those coming up or those that were going through a tough time would get resources. Basically what we're doing that we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it on a more global basis as opposed to a small community. We want the entire region to benefit and to prosper.
And looking at new
opportunities.
Technology to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Right? Because now
Absolutely.
we have technology that makes that a lot easier to do that.
Yes.
So we're talking, you know, using gift cards and doing these things online, and there's so
And there's
much.
a power in, like you were talking about volunteers, or you were talking about funders, for example. There's a power in doing that, the volunteerism, because you never know where your next potential client could be from your volunteerism,
Exactly.
too. So there's such a power in, so if you think, well, I don't have the money to contribute, I'm not a small business, so I don't fit that, but I'd like to help, being a volunteer is a great way to do it. And there's always ways for you to interact and to build your business or build your network, which can help everybody in the network.
Right. And it's the Community Entrepreneur Opportunity Fund is not just about the cash, but also about providing guidance to those companies. If there's some way that we can provide an introduction, help them with a sale, help them, you know, just streamline their business. Those are all things to make sure that everybody gets stronger and helps build up the community.
Because I think there's a lot, like for the TED Show, for example, we've got somebody behind the scenes helping. And I don't know if she wants me to say her name or not, so I won't right now.
Absolutely.
Jackie has been helping so much. And what's great about that is that's the kind of mentorship. Like, she has this knowledge. And so, for example, on anything video related, Darius could be a mentor, and he's a small business, and he's the one that's behind the scenes shooting the show right now and does all the editing. So there's just this, I want you to think outside the box. I just get rid of the box completely and just be incredibly creative when you're thinking about the CEO fund and how you can get involved and how you can tap into our resources, really. So we're big on mentor. Did I miss anything? That's always the important question. Anything you want to share? Because I'm going to ask one last question. I think they're good. They did a good job. And I know what I'm going to say before I ask the last question. Yes, you can reach out to us. We're going to provide the email or the form when we post this show. It's going to be really important for you to reach out to that particular email or click on that particular link for the form. Of course, if you just want to reach out to me, I will put you in touch with them. But
well,
there is...
not to indate your emails, but it is communityfund@realsecondchance.org.
Right. So we will then, okay, there you go. So we're going to definitely either use that or the form that we talked about earlier, but we'll have a link for you. All right, so we're big on mentorship. You mentioned it earlier, Steve. If you can give a public shout out to somebody who mentored you along the way, maybe somebody who helped you in your business, in your personal, professional life, somebody you think of when you think of, wow, that person really helped me.
Yeah, I'm not sure that anybody around here would know, but Phil Nemmers was a partner at Ernst & Young when I was coming up through the ranks there. He was amazing. One of the things he inspired me to do was to work on opening an office in Omaha. It was the first new office for Ernst & Young in 16 years. So I was very proud to be a part of that.
Isn't that wonderful how your mind goes to that? You go to because usually when you say it, people are immediate. Or then they go, wait, I've got too many people to thank, which is also a good thing. All right, how about you, Donna?
For me, well, two people that come, like you said, right to your mind and immediately. And one was a former boss of mine in the computer field. I know, I can't believe that, engineering computer field. Dennis Lawson, he now lives in Georgia, but and we still keep in touch because of that awesome. Mentorship and stuff. And I have to be honest, I know I'm to Ms. Horn, but my husband.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my husband is the biggest backer of
That's Claude Smith, by the way.
So, yeah.
That's good. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you guys for all of the work that you're doing with the CEO Fund. I absolutely believe it is going to have a giant impact locally, and we're going to go bigger and broader than that. It's going to have a big impact in all of our communities, our global one.
And it should be ready by May 1st. I mean, everything kind of got pushed just a little bit with this virus, but to be honest with you, we have so many more opportunities to help and for the community to help us back because of this virus.
To come back from this.
Yes.
We will, and we will. All right, guys, we love you. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll be back this week with a lot of Zoom remote shows. See you soon.